Hey everybody! So I am coming at you today to talk about the things that I did as a Beachbody coach my first month to 3 months of coaching to set me up for success and to help me become the successful coach that I am today, and things that I continue to do even though my team is growing. So these are my tips, okay? So here's my first one. The vital behaviors. You guys will hear this all the time amongst coaches. Being proof the product works. If you are not drinking Shakeology and doing your workouts and posting about it daily and sharing those things with people, they aren't going to build trust with you. They aren't going to know what you're doing. You have to share that. So you have to be proof that it works. Nobody's going to want to sign up with you if you aren't using the products yourself. The second one is personal development. Now, I've struggled with personal development a few times because at one point I thought I didn't need it. You know, everybody has that, oh, I don't need that. That's one I can, slack on. But it isn't, because this business is mentally challenging. Because you're going to have a lot of negativity and a lot of no's and a lot of obstacles that you have to overcome in life, in business, everything, parenting, everything. And if you are not listening to personal development and continually growing and putting your mind in the right mindset, you're going to want to give up. So personal development is very important. The next one is inviting. Now, there's several ways that you can invite people. You can make an event page and invite them to challenge groups that way. You can message them and talk to them, build relationships, and ask them to join a challenge group through messaging, or creating Facebook posts. Facebook posts that invite people, we call to action. So you're asking them to do some kind of action, like messaging you or commenting below for more details. So the Facebook posts can be inviting to a challenge group as well. We also invite to free groups. You want to add value to your Facebook page as well. So having people do like free clean eating groups, coaching opportunities where you can share information about coaching. You can do like personal development groups. There's all different types of free groups that you can invite people to, and then from those, invite to challenge groups. So these vital behaviors I did. And I shared every moment of it on my Facebook page. So posting on your Facebook page like 3 times a day, sharing different aspects of how you're being proof the product works, and personal development and inviting. So all these things should be intertwined in your newsfeed, in your Facebook page throughout the day and throughout the week. So I did that. And I didn't just do it once or twice, which brings me to my next tip, consistency. You'll hear that a lot. I didn't just do it a couple days a week. I didn't just work hard really hard one day or 3 or 4 times. I didn't say, oh, I did 6 days this week being consistent, I can slack a day. No, I worked and I pushed and I did the vital behaviors every single day and continue to do them every single day. I set above, I have notes, so if you guys see me looking down, that's why. I want to make sure I cover everything. I set above normal actions. So in the beginning, you'll hear invite 3 and, follow up with 3 and add 3 new friends. Like you'll hear the 3. No. So if I was being told to do 3, then I did 5. If they told me to bump up to 5, then, and when I say they, I mean like my coach and other top coaches, they say bump up to 5, then I bumped up to 10. So I did above average and above normal actions. So that was my second one, consistency in doing that, and not only just with the vital behaviors at a normal range, but above normal range. And then 3, I made a plan and schedule. I didn't just treat this like a hobby. I didn't just say, oh, if I get it in, then I get it in. Like I didn't have that mindset. I didn't say, oh my God, today was so busy, I don't have time to do it. I am a single mom. I was teaching full time when I signed up, and I was getting my master's. okay, and a Beachbody coach. So but I didn't put being a Beachbody coach last. What I did was I made sure I made a schedule. And I'm going to make a video sharing how I worked the business with a full-time career and going to school and mommyhood and, you know, all the extra stuff teachers have to do. So I'm going to make a video sharing exactly my breakdown of my plan and my schedule daily, as well as now being a stay-at-home mom. So I'll share both of those in a different video at a different time. But I did do that. When I was working, I couldn't do everything in one straight hour. I couldn't sit there and invite and talk to people for an hour because of my schedule. So what I did is I broke it up. So I woke up early in the morning. I started saying, okay, normally I would wake up at 5, so I'm going to wake up at 4:30. And when I feel like if things weren't progressing like I wanted to, I said, okay, instead of waking up at 4:30, I'm going to wake up at 4. To the point where throughout the school year, starting around January, I was waking up at 3:45 to make sure I was out of bed by 4, and I was getting my workout in, and I was, starting my coaching in the morning, doing my, morning posts and greetings to all my, my challenge groups and any other groups that I was running, and getting posts on my Facebook page. I set time for that. I scheduled that time in, like a doctor's appointment, right? Get a whiteboard. If you know that there's a team call, write that down, schedule it in, work your way around it. Don't treat it as though this is a hobby. If you have goals and you have big goals and you want to make this a solid career, you have to work at it now like it's a solid career. Whether or not you're making a full-time income right now, you will if you treat it like you are earning a full-time income right now. Okay, if you went to work, if you have a day job right now and you went to work and you just sat there and was like, I'm not getting paid enough to do this, I'll just not do that and not do that. Are you going to keep that job? I don't think so. You're going to get fired, right? So you have to have a power hour. Okay, at least. You have to have a power hour. So in our power hours, we are inviting, we are following up, we are adding people, and we are contacting them, and we are building relationships. So you need an hour to do that. And if you can't fit that in all in one segment, break it up. Wake up 20 minutes earlier. Do some on your lunch break. When all your kids go to bed, or after you have some husband time in the evening, stay up an extra half hour later. Okay, yes, maybe you might have to, go from having 8 hours of sleep to 7 hours of sleep, or 7 hours of sleep to 6 hours of sleep. But again, that's one thing that I chose to do. I found things to sacrifice. So I didn't socialize on lunch. I ate my lunch and I did part of my power hour. On my preps, when I was teaching, on my preps, I chose to, again, do power hour stuff instead of teaching stuff. And that's when you know you need to not be a teacher anymore. I became so passionate about this that I found myself not being as passionate about that. And that's why I didn't go back this year, and I am solely focusing on this. The next tip that I have is your mindset. Treating Success Club as a non-negotiable. So when I started, I knew, okay, Success Starters. If I hit Success Club for the first 3 months, I get my summit ticket paid for. So that was my goal that I set for myself, and Success Club was non-negotiable. I did everything it took to hit it. And honestly, because I was doing the vital behaviors, it didn't really take a whole lot of extra effort because I was doing everything else that I just shared with you. But there have been some hard times. So these are things that I did. So first of all, my mindset was not, oh, if I don't hit, it's okay. I'll try again next month. That has never crossed my mind. It has never been an option for me not to hit Success Club. Never. So if it's towards the end of the month and I'm not at Success Club, or Success Club 10 now, because that's my goal now, I offer free gifts and I have specials. So I'll take part of my commission and I'll invest it back in my business. Again, making these small sacrifices, but in the long run, it pays off. So I figured I would, if I take half of my income and I invest it in gifts and specials to encourage people to sign up, then in the long run, I am ahead. So I did that. I also signed family. So my second month of coaching, I was on the fence of Success Club 10, and I wanted Success Club 10, and I was going to do anything for Success Club 10. So it was like the last day of the month, and I was Success Club 8. So I signed my dad as coach. He liked the Shakeology. They didn't care. My mom and dad didn't, mind. Actually, my dad suggested it after I had already signed him. Then he said, hey, why don't you just make me a coach so that we get a discount on a third bag? So signing family. So if you have a sister and you're like on the verge, just say, hey, can I use your email? Like, can you, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. And then if you pay for it, you have two things. One, either an extra program or extra Shakeology for you, just in case, or you can use both of those things as prizes for challenge groups. You can use both of those things as free giveaways so that if the next month you're struggling, you can use those as giveaways for signups. So signing family did come in handy my second month. And then I took steps outside of my comfort zone. So what I did was, because it was a non-negotiable, if I found myself posting the same thing, like I would always post like motivational banners. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with motivational banners, but they weren't getting as many likes and they weren't getting as much attention as my workout videos were. So I decided to do something outside of my comfort zone and, started doing more of that and making sure that was consistent and always posting a workout video. And then, and that's scary because, in the beginning it was like sweaty pics. Right? Shakeology pictures. But because a couple of times I post workout videos and people were like, oh my God, this is fabulous. Then I went outside my comfort zone and I did more of that. I posted every time, I posted a meal of mine and that got a huge response and was like, oh my God, what's the recipe? So I started doing more of that. And then all of a sudden Facebook came out with this live feature. And that was a scary thought, but I went, I stepped outside that comfort zone and I went live and, sharing myself cooking or doing live workouts with people like, hey, do this with me. Let's stand up and get some blood going and oxygen flowing and all that other stuff. So, if you're kind of struggling getting a lot of activity on your Facebook page and people commenting and liking, then think of doing something out of the norm. It's scary, but it will pay off. And then patience. That's my number 5 tip. Patience. Oh, I know it's such a wonderful word, right? You have to allow time to build relationships. You will get people that you talk to once and they're like, sign me up. Or they see a post and they're like, give me more info, sign me up. You will get people like that. But for the most part, your coaches are going to be challengers first. And your challengers are going to become people on your Facebook that you talk to and that you communicate with and that you ask about their day and you find out, if they have kids and you ask about their kids. You find commonalities and you become friends on Facebook or email, whatever the case may be, in person, if you meet up and you do like hey, let's get our kids together and play and, all these types of things. So you have to allow time to build relationships because that's where your strongest people are going to be. In my first 3 months, that's what I did. I built a lot of relationships and the people who were with me since the beginning, the majority of them are still with me now. The people who aren't are those people who saw a post, jumped right in, and then didn't feel comfortable with me to reach out, or if I messaged them, felt ashamed and so they didn't want to respond back. It's people who my relationship with them wasn't as strong and so they backed out or they disappeared. They went MIA. And so really allow time to build relationships. You need patience for that. I also learned to be proud, along with having this patience, I learned to be proud of the process. So if I could go to bed every night thinking, was there anything more I could do? You know, did I contact my goal? Every day I have a goal number of people that I want to talk to. So if I messaged 5 people and only 1 responded, was I okay with that? And usually I wasn't. I'm like, no, I messaged 5 people. I wanted to talk to 5 people. So what I did was then I messaged more until I got 5 people to talk to. So I felt successful in the process. So I knew I did everything that I could and I felt confident about that day. And that is what kept giving me the motivation to go and allowing a little bit of this patience to kind of sink in, and I just appreciated the process. I didn't do it for immediate results. It's like working out. That's how I look at it as. People who get into exercise and have an end goal and say, I want to lose 10 pounds, and that's their end goal, and they don't lose 10 pounds in the time frame that they want. So they say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months. If they don't lose 10 pounds in 3 months, they quit. They give up. Because they're not appreciating the process. They're not looking at the overall benefit and the overall health and the positivity that is coming from working out every day. They are only looking at numbers and results. So they tend to not succeed. So that's another thing that helped with my patience, is saying, okay, I'm treating this like my fitness. So I don't have an end game for my fitness and health. In the beginning, I set out to be pre-REO weight. Well, then I got there and I said, but no, like, I don't want to stop. Like, I feel amazing. Why would I stop? So my process is what I live by. That's it. There is no end game in health and fitness for me. I'm working out every day. I'm going to eat healthy every day. And if there's a day that I don't and I feel like crap, I'm not going to beat myself up and say, I give up. I'm going to say, tomorrow I'm going to do better. I always strive to be better than the day before. So that's what I do with business too. I look at it in that same mindset as I look at my health and fitness. I say, okay, I'm going to try to do a little bit more, a little bit better than the day before. Okay. So my last little note that I want to stress to you is just never give up. Successful people are not people who've never had an obstacle. I guarantee every successful person out there has had death in their family. They've had divorce somewhere in their life, whether it's a friend, whether they did, whether it's family, they know somebody, or they experienced it themselves. Okay? There's a lot of top coaches that have kids, that have gotten pregnant, that, there's some that have had miscarriages. I mean, there's a lot of obstacles that people deal with daily. There are. The successful work through them. They work harder because of them. They don't become victim to those obstacles and stop. Never give up. If you're always moving forward, you will be successful. Remember why you started. Make a vision board. I look at my dream board, my vision board every single day, whatever you want to call it. I look at my goals, okay? On my vision board, those are my goals. Those are things that I want. Those are why I started, why I wanted to do this. So when you're having those rough times where you want to give up, look at that. And that's what motivated me to keep going. Because let me tell you, my 3rd month coaching, I started back to work. Yeah, sure, easy peasy in summer. You got all that time, right? And then I started back to work and I started back to school. So I had not only homework that my kids were doing that I had to grade and lesson plans and stuff that I had to do at home, but I had homework for myself too. So it was hard. And there were times where I'm like, oh, is this what I really want? and I looked at my board that I made of all my goals and my vision of what I wanted my life to look like. And every single time I would look at that and be like, I can't stop. That hasn't changed. That's my why. That's why I want to do this. I got to keep going. Stop bitching and moaning and complaining and whining and crying, Candy, and just do it. That's what I gave myself that pep talk while looking at my board. Okay, so I'm going to leave you. I know I said I'm going to leave you with that last thought, and that is my last thought, but I'm going to go ahead and end on 2 quotes that I want you to think about. The first quote, remember, small sacrifices in return will give you long-term success. Small sacrifices that you do now, you'll reap that long-term success, okay? And the second one is, do things that other people won't so that you can live a life that other people can't. If you do the things that other people won't, you can live a life that other people can't, okay? I hope this was helpful. Continue to work hard and use my tips, and I encourage you to just never stop. Bye.